I think without a doubt the Catholic moral theologian who influenced me the most was Bernard Häring. Bernard Häring was a German Redemptorist priest, and as I mentioned before, I had done my theology in Rome from 1955 to 1959 and studied at the Gregorian University run by the Jesuits. And then when I was told that I was to get a doctorate in moral theology and come back to teach at the seminary in Rochester, I went back to Rome and realized that I knew well the people at the Gregorian and what they taught, and quite frankly, they didn't have that great a separation between moral theology and all other theology. And all I had to take after I had my licentiate degree was just 5 seminars in moral theology. And at the end of my last year in theology in Rome in 1959, I became familiar through the Italian translation with Bernard Häring's book, The Law of Christ, which was a new approach to Catholic moral theology, an attempt to emphasize especially the biblical approach, an attempt that tried to, again, be holistic, to bring together scripture, liturgy, sacraments, spirituality, morality, all in one. And for example, Häring even then was calling for the universal self, that all Christians are called to perfection. That it simply isn't enough just for everybody to obey the 10 Commandments. All of us are called to be perfect. All of us are called to conversion. That's the fundamental moral message, change of heart, and the need for a continual change of heart. So that once I knew that Häring then was teaching at the Alfonsianum in Rome, I went over there. I took Häring's courses. I took other courses as well. And in fact, in the end, I wound up getting a doctorate from the Alfonsianum as well as a doctorate from the Gregorian University in moral theology. And but at least at the Alfonsianum, they were trying to emphasize moral theology. They talked about the history of moral theology, scriptural approaches to moral theology, early church approaches, contemporary psychological, sociological approaches to moral theology. So it was an attempt then really to build up this discipline, very much in accord with a dialogue with all the other sciences were going on, and to move it a little bit away from the casuistry that I mentioned before, that was simply dealing only with is this issue right or wrong kind of thing. So I think it was Häring's approach to moral theology. I became quite close to Häring, and in fact I was instrumental in his coming to this country to give institutes in the summer. Häring traveled all over the world doing this for many, many years. So, but I would say that Bernard Häring was the strongest influence. But also Joseph Fuchs, who taught at the Gregorian at that time. Fuchs also helped me very much to make a transition from what I call the older moral theology to the new. So actually, this was all before Vatican II, but this opened me up, quite frankly. I mean, I left Rome in '61 with my doctorate before Vatican Council II started. But thanks to Häring and Fuchs and a number of other people at the Alfonsianum, I was then very much familiar with the theological currents that came to the fore in Vatican II.